So, guys, what do you feel? I want to ask each of you guys, and I'm going to go into my reason for supporting Prop 207. But Mike, what's your personal reason, if you don't mind me asking, for supporting Prop 207 personally, not through Arizona NORML, not through Southern Arizona?
My personal reason is strictly the libertarian streak in me that says at 21 years old, I should have every right to make a decision as an adult to consume cannabis responsibly. Stop. That for me, there are so many orbital arguments about arguments that are on the periphery and in the orbit of cannabis legalization. But for me, and honestly, for me, that's what it comes down to, me being involved. It really is about personal freedom in this country to be able to make that decision responsibly without ever having any fear of prosecution. And so that's why I'm in this game fundamentally, is plus the fact that every year that we don't do legalization, 12 to 15,000 Arizonans have their lives adversely affected by quite possibly a nonviolent, simple marijuana arrest. And even though John is right, while it is from a spec to 2 pounds, a class 6 felony, most jurisdictions will charge it as running through a misdemeanor court. But even with a misdemeanor, you're dealing with going through task, you're dealing with disruption to your life, you're dealing with things with that following your life, that adversity. And I just, it's time. We're living in the 21st century. It is time to stop the nonsense and the insanity and legalize for responsible consumption. And that's where I am, and it's where I've always been.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Mike. John, how about yourself?
Sure. So since Mike took freedom, I'll talk a little bit.
Sorry, John.
About fairness, which is also another really important reason why I support Prop 207. Someone just raised the Packers. You can't make it through, 30 minutes of a football game without having alcohol advertising blasted down your throat. And there's absolutely no evidence that shows marijuana is more harmful than alcohol. Yet people that prefer that substance get thrown in jail with a felony and have their lives ruined, while other people who choose to consume alcohol are celebrated. And that makes no sense at all. That's one of the reasons why I support ending marijuana prohibition. I'll say another one, kind of to Mike's point, is that, this is America and we have freedom of speech. And it's always been insane to me that I have the freedom to say anything I want to say, but I don't have the freedom to choose to change the way that I'm thinking for the next couple of hours. If I'm not going out and harming anyone else, if I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home, there's absolutely no reason why, I shouldn't be able to consume a substance that changes the way I think and is no more harmful than alcohol. So those are a couple of the reasons I suppose I support Prop 207.
It's awesome. Kind of like what Rick D said in one of his advertisements in support. What does it matter if I want to go home, get high, and stare at the fire for 2 hours? Why does that matter to anyone? And he has a point. Why is it anyone's business what we do in the privacy of our own homes?
This is America, yeah, the land of rugged individualism, and you can't go and get stoned and watch a fire.
Exactly.
Better watch out, guys. In Arizona, it's class 6 felony right now.
But I will say too, John and Ryan, real quick, is the fact that relative to just having that right to be able to do that is so paramount. I agree with you, John. It's what we're about. To have that, but that responsibility that comes with that freedom, and the fact too that while I'm a patient myself, as you guys are, but the bottom line is there are still people who aren't patients that have conditions that don't qualify. I know many people who consume cannabis to soothe anxiety. Anxiety is not a qualifying condition. Those people will then have the ability to soothe that anxiety through adult use cannabis. So all for it.
And that's pretty restrictive, that list right now for qualifying conditions. We fought, try and get autism added in, right? And the opioid use disorder. And, guys, COVID hit. Our hands were tied, with a lot of this stuff, but that doesn't mean that our work is going to be done here coming up, this next legislative season. Come on, this whole thing is, meant to, help improve people's lives. Thanks for the update on the Packers there, Shay. Appreciate it.
Maybe we need another box here where we could have the game going, and then we could satiate everyone's desires and needs.
Right. So my personal reasons for voting yes on Prop 207 are a little bit different. I've got a couple, main ones here. One of them is that Michael Weiser, man, I deeply respected, and he fought and he worked his butt off to try and get these things, this initiative pushed through. And, I've made it, as part of my charge, to carry that through and over the finish line. That's number one. Number two is because both of these guys just mentioned the freedom and, being able to make your own choices. Are we a bunch of child men here or child people, that are needing to be force-fed exactly how to do things and to live our lives? Or are we able to make informed, educated decisions about how we control our own lives, as long as it doesn't go out and adversely affect someone else? Does anyone else feel that way?
That's the key.
Right? Do we support impaired drivers, guys?
No.
No.
Do we support teenage consumption? No.
Not at all. Okay? So let me ask you another question. Do you guys support the black market?
No.
No.
Not at all.
So voting yes on 207, what is that going to do to the black market?
It's going to end it. It's going to be a big step in the direction of ending it.
So it's going to actually, create a system that could be regulated and, could be taxed. Yes, absolutely. Generate revenue for the community, for different departments, divisions, all of this stuff for education.
Not just revenue, jobs. One thing we haven't mentioned is jobs.
Oh my gosh, jobs. That's right.
Paying jobs.
Yeah. I read something about, the average salary, actually being about 30% higher in the cannabis industry for the same type of work.
I have it right here, Ryan. Median pay in the nation relative to cannabis, $58,511, 11% higher than the U.S. median relative to all pay.
11% across the U.S.
Right.
And that is great. That is awesome news, guys. So those are a couple of my reasons, besides the fact that I was treated so poorly by our healthcare systems, by, the laws and rules and regulations that basically made it seem like I was less of a person because of my choice to use medical marijuana instead of prescribed opiates by a doctor. Well, guess what? Doctor prescribed my card too.